Next year is looking absolutely mental for gaming, and I think the 25-year anniversary of Xbox is going to be massive and nothing like we've ever seen before. Not only are we getting multiple first-party games by the likes of Fable and even Forza Horizon 6, but we're also getting some insane third-party launches like GTA 6 and so many more. What I wanted to do today was actually cover something a little bit different, and actually cover the 15 underrated games coming to our Xbox consoles and also Game Pass sometime next year, as there's so much to look forward to, and these are some insane games that are still getting overlooked, which you need to keep an eye on. Do remember as well, before we do begin, I am giving away a free Xbox game every single day in the run up to Christmas, and that's all part of my 12 days of Xbox Nation event. All you have to do is just comment below something regarding Xbox and you're automatically entered. Congratulations to yesterday's winner. Just hit me up on our awesome Discord server with a link in the comments below and I'll get that game right over to you. Now with that, let's just dive into the games that you need to be aware of that's coming our way in 2026. Reanimal is one of my top games of 2026, as I bloody love Tarsier Studios and the work they did with Little Nightmares 1 and 2. This one has been on my own personal radar simply because it's dialing up the horror-filled tension to something even greater than those original two games, and from the demo that I've played, it's bloody fantastic. To give you an idea though, this is a horror adventure game where a brother and sister go through hell to then rescue their missing friends and escape the island that they used to call home. It not only looks incredible, but from the glimpses of what I've seen during the trailers and the demo, the horrid creatures are genuinely terrifying. This really is shaping up to be a massive step up for this studio, and I really do hope they nail its launch, as it's not too far away at all. It is safe to say that stealth games really aren't as common as they used to be these days, but one series that is staying true to its sneaky roots is Styx. There is indeed a new game in this franchise coming to us soon called Blades of Greed, and early previews for this one are looking pretty promising. For those of you who are new to this franchise though, I'll give you a bit of an idea of it. You essentially play as Styx, a sharp-tongued goblin thief, and you'll be sneaking through massive environments filled with danger and dark humour. It is actually going to be set after Shard of Darkness, but what is great here is that the sequel doesn't require any prior knowledge of those older entries. The devs have also stated that they're bringing in larger levels, which are about 2.5 times larger, alongside some new powers and tools for us to master. The ultimate goal with this new story though is to claim what they are calling the Quartz, and this is a powerful resource that's fueling a world on the edge of war. It looks fantastic, and for the life of me I just can't believe they're making another one of this insanely niche series. I've been following Replaced for quite a long time now, and it's great to finally see that this project is moving forward. The game is a cinematic 2.5D platformer that's built around story first, and it now has a confirmed launch date of the 12th of March next year. In Replaced, you essentially take control of Reach, a self-aware AI that's inhabiting a human body, and then you'll be navigating a bleak future while uncovering the truth behind the powerful Phoenix Corporation. The world in this instance, and as you can probably see, leans heavily into cyberpunk themes, combining this cool sort of detailed pixel art style with smooth animations and a really cool and brooding synth soundtrack. Gameplay will focus heavily on fluid movement, precise platforming, and bursts of fast, stylish combat, and it all looks to flow seamlessly into the narrative. It's also worth noting that Replaced is launching only onto Xbox and PC, and also onto Xbox Game Pass day one, making it a console launch exclusive for our Xbox consoles. Switching gears completely, let's talk about Mouse PI for Hire, a game that really looks to fully embrace style and personality at its very core. It's a first-person shooter, of course wrapped up in that 1930s cartoon aesthetic, and it's inspired by classic rubber hose animation, but paired with a very dark, hardboiled detective narrative. You will play as a grizzled private investigator who just so happens to be a mouse, working cases in a city sprawling with criminals, shady politicians, and strange faces. While the art style, I have to say, does look very playful and nostalgic and totally incredible, the gameplay is anything but lighthearted, as they wanted to deliver sort of intense gunfights and noir-inspired storytelling. Every scene that I see of this one looks really hand-animated, and the contrast between the cheerful visuals and crime drama is what makes it just so memorable. It's bold, creative, and instantly stands out amongst the crowd, and I think that's why I'm so drawn to it. Playing a tough, no-nonsense mouse detective shouldn't work this well, but it absolutely does, and it comes to us very, very soon in early 2026. If you somehow missed it, Milestone is reviving high-energy arcade racing with Screamer, and it will be launching onto Xbox this March, specifically on the 26th, and it's shaping up to be something truly special, to be honest. It's inspired by classic 90s anime storytelling, and the game will then drop you into a futuristic racing league where 5 rival teams clash in a dangerous no-holds-barred tournament. At the heart of the new gameplay though, the devs have said there's a new risk-reward system, which they're calling Echo. This is essentially a single gauge that powers boosts, defensive maneuvers, and even aggressive tactics, attacks, forcing players to constantly make some split-second decisions. Racing will take place across a variety of visually stunning tracks, from glowing cityscapes to hazardous mountain routes, and they're all complete with dynamic weather and shifting day and night cycles. To be honest, I was quite surprised seeing this come from Milestone. The only sort of arcade racing game that they've ever had any hands on was Hot Wheels Unleashed, and those games were pretty decent in their own right, but usually Milestone are known for the likes of Ride and MotoGP, which are certainly more realistic. If they can handle the tight handling, the deep vehicle customization alongside that pulsating soundtrack, I really think Screamer is ready to inject some fresh life into the arcade racing franchise. We did actually see this next game a couple of times this year, and every showing of it just looks absolutely incredible. This one is set in a world that's drowned by divine ruin, where only the bold will survive. Mistfall Hunter throws you into a Nordic-inspired wasteland forged in the aftermath of Ragnarok, where gods are dead, monsters roam, and the mist itself will corrupt everyone. As a resurrected Gildan Hunter, you'll then be fighting, looting, and extracting your way through chaos in a sort of brutal PvPvE battles. With this, you can of course go in either solo, or you can then team up with your friends to hunt terrifying creatures, or just turn on other players to claim their spores, of course. It has a lot of fast-paced third-person combat, deep class customization, and the constant risk of losing everything, and it means that every run is a fight for glory or your survival. Honestly, if Mistfall Hunter can sort of nail that loop like we see in something like Arc Raiders, it could be a really big hit sometime next year. Talking of which, if you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button if you're really enjoying this video so far. I'm going to be covering a ton of Xbox content from now into 2026, and obviously with it being Xbox's biggest year and the 25th anniversary, there's going to be a ton of content coming your guys' way. We are so close now to hitting 80,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, and I would just love you to join our ever-growing Xbox community. As always, thanks so much for the support already, and let's dive back into the remaining games. One of the biggest surprises for me personally this year was the announcement of a brand new Super Meat Boy. What's even more unexpected about that announcement though is it's being handled by a different developer completely, and for the first time ever, the series is now making the full jump into 3D, which is something that really did surprise me. They are calling it Super Meat Boy 3D. Yeah, an original title, right? But it's keeping that core identity intact, delivering brutally tough platforming where you control the iconic cube of meat, and of course, yes, you're on the rescue mission to save Bandage Girl from the infamous fetus in a jar. Only now all of the precision chaos unfolds in a three-dimensional space. You can expect, of course, all of the original stuff like wall jumps, deadly traps, collapsing environments, and plenty of failed attempts along the way, and I have no doubt that 1000 gamer score is going to be absolute hell. From what's been shown though, the game still carries that classic old school charm, but it's mixed with some lightning fast gameplay. I am genuinely curious though to see how well this transition works when it does launch into early 2026, and it is coming day one onto Xbox Game Pass as well. The team behind the WW1 series is finally gearing up to deliver another large-scale shooter, and it's called WW1 Gallipoli, and it's launching in early 2026 on both Xbox and PC. This newest entry though looks to shift their focus a bit to the brutal Gallipoli campaign, taking players from the harsh, windswept shores of the Dardanelles to the vast desert battlefields and beyond. Like the studio's previous titles though, if you're aware of stuff like Inzonzo, the experience is going to be built primarily around multiplayer combat, emphasizing teamwork and authenticity, but also it's going to include the likes of custom matches and AI controlled bots this time around for those of you who preferred a more controlled setup. The devs have basically said they're aiming to create their most intense and immersive World War I experience to date, leveraging full modern hardware to enhance the scale, detail, and its atmosphere. It's really exciting to see more World War era shooters making a strong return this generation. Of course, we do have the likes of Hell Let Loose Vietnam coming next year, but for me, this one is already shaping up to be something truly special and nothing like we've ever seen before. Keeping within the realm of those first-person shooters though, you may remember a game that launched a couple years ago now onto PC called 6 Days in Fallujah. Well, in some good news, we finally might be receiving a console port of this milsim, and it should be coming in 2026. If you're somehow not familiar with this and didn't see the plethora of videos that came out in 2024, it really did shake up the formula by putting players in 4-person teams and then forcing us all to take on dangerous missions in constantly changing environments. With that though, the entirety, as you can imagine, of this game is procedurally generated, meaning that every mission never feels the same, and you do have to work together to clear houses, rooftops, and more in some insanely intense firefights. From the community feedback, they look like they really nailed the realism here, and it encapsulates the horror faced by troops during this war. It has been in development for quite some time for consoles by having a look, and it was due at the end of 2024, but after multiple delays, it's now due to arrive sometime next year. ArcheAge Chronicles had completely slipped off my radar this year, but seeing it again was a serious wake-up call. It is another upcoming upcoming MMORPG, and with several games in the genre arriving soon, this one really does stand out, but I do feel it's going to be hidden amongst all that mist. The focus here is on a sort of seamless open world action experience, feeling closer to something like Crimson Desert, but instead is designed entirely around that multiplayer experience. You can also freely explore massive environments across land, sea and sky, and they're all going to be affected by dynamic weather systems. The combat from what I've seen looks very fast, flashy and almost absurdly fluid, leaning heavily into over-the-top action, but I kind of have to wait to see if that really pays off. From what I've seen so far though, it has the potential to be something truly special, though it's definitely a case of waiting to see more before passing any judgment on it. A closed test is actually planned at the moment and also into 2026, with the full release now confirmed for 2026 following a very short delay period. Turok Origins signals a major comeback for this legendary dinosaur hunting series, but it's now being redesigned as a third-person action-adventure experience built for our modern consoles. It's actually being developed by Saber Interactive, so the same guys behind stuff like World War Z, but the game is now introducing 3-player co-op, encouraging squads to work together, like we saw in stuff like Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. The progression here as well is going to be driven by a DNA harvesting system, which is something truly different as well, and it sort of adds that light RPG element that allows players to unlock new skills and combat abilities as you're battling these ferocious dinosaurs. Exploration also looks to play a bigger role this time around, with fresh traversal options like grappling across dangerous terrain and even taming some smaller creatures that aid you in your journey. Honestly, if they can nail this reboot and giving it a bold identity, I think this could be a real big shock in 2026. Turok Origins really looks to breathe some new life into this franchise, and I'm all for it as it's such a legendary franchise. One title that might have flown under the radar for some of you out there is called Exoborne, and it's shaping up to be a really interesting blend of different genres. This is a high-intensity action game with strong RPG progression, and it's going to be set in a world that's torn apart by extreme weather and catastrophic natural events. You basically play as a team of elite operatives equipped with a powerful exosuit, taking on dangerous contracts in hostile environments. They are saying that customization is going to be a huge part of the overall experience though, letting you upgrade your suit, unlock new abilities and tailor your playstyle, so they're really going heavy on that RPG progression elements. Combat looks very fast, aggressive and constantly evolving, with every encounter carrying real risk and meaningful rewards. Between all of those destructive settings though, the fluid movement and the deep progression system, Exoborne is looking like one of those games that could really surprise us. If you do enjoy shooters that reward experimentation and progression, then this one is definitely worth keeping your eye on. Details at the moment are still fairly scarce across the board, but what we do know about Human Fall Flat 2 already has me really excited. No Breaks Games has confirmed that the sequel is being rebuilt with a brand new physics engine, alongside all of the improved interactions, refreshed animations and upgraded visuals. The game is still planned to launch on both consoles and PC, and considering how close the original was tied to Xbox Game Pass, I wouldn't be surprised to see the sequel arrive onto that service as well. For me, the first Human Fall Flat has been a go-to party game for years, and that's all thanks to its hilarious ragdoll physics and clever puzzle design, and is all supported by frequent content updates that have been free from the development team. This follow-up though promises some brand new stages, deeper customization, and even more unpredictable mechanics, while keeping that signature dreamlike style intact. If it does come along with smoother controls, expanded interactions, and refined presentation, it could be a bigger and better evolution than I ever expected. Now we just need a release date, and it is rumoured for some time next year. A game mixing cooking, combat systems, farming, rhythm challenges, and even light management mechanics already has my attention, and Beastro is leaning fully into that chaos. This one is set to arrive on Xbox Game Pass and will be launching as well as an Xbox console exclusive, but this one is shaping out to be something truly special. You basically step into the role of Panko, a fox that's trying to keep a bustling restaurant alive while satisfying a cast of hungry customers. Running the kitchen isn't just menu selection either like other games out there, as food preparation is handled through interactive minigames, including timing-based sequences that feel closer to a rhythm title than a traditional simulator. Between upgrading your operation, handling different systems at once, and mastering every single dish, the game looks packed with variety and just so much charm. While an exact launch date hasn't actually been locked in yet, Beastro is currently targeting a 2026 release date and is absolutely one to keep on your radar. This next game is a co-op survival horror title that seriously caught my attention a couple weeks back now. The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu blends the squad-based chaos of games like Left 4 Dead, but with a dark pirate era setting which I absolutely adore, and that combination alone is just so hard to ignore, as we really don't see many within that pirate space. You and up to 3 other players will venture deeper into the dangerous jungles, and you'll be facing some terrifying creatures and strange otherworldly events while hunting down for legendary treasure. The atmosphere looks incredibly strong, with so many dense environments and striking visuals that really sell that sense of dread. The use of muskets, blades and old world weaponry gives it such a unique flavour that really does set it apart from modern day shooters. It is confirmed for the Xbox Series X and S consoles and will support the Xbox Play Anywhere scheme, so it means you'll be able to play it on your PC and handheld devices as well. It's really shaping up to be something truly special, and I love we're seeing more pirate games these days, as it's a genre that really doesn't get explored often. Are there any games you're looking forward to in 2026 that may be getting overlooked? You'll have to let me know below, as I would love to hear what you're excited for, as it really does help me with ideas for future videos, coverage on those games as well, and so much more. And I just love having discussions with you about the Xbox community in general. Remember to like and do subscribe as well for more Xbox content on a daily basis, and a very big shout out to our channel members for your continued support. If you do want to get some stuff like exclusive perks, content, and so much more, then do click that join button down below, as it's really appreciated. Whilst here though, and if you do want to check out some more amazing Xbox content here on the channel, why don't you check out the video on screen now? I just covered the huge countdown sale that's going on in the Xbox store, and I covered 40 games that you need to buy as soon as possible.